it going? So for those who don't know me, I am Yoko. I'm a Japanese living in Japan, and today I would like to talk about so-called white guilt and also a little bit about the US presidential campaign. So recently I was introduced to the pictures of so-called white guilt. Now, I had been familiar with the term for a while now, but I had never seen what it looks like in performances. So when I saw those pictures, I was really shocked. Like, I was upset because the way I see American people is that, you know, you guys have this mature democracy and that you guys are a bunch of proud citizens, right? And confident, and like you have like all this good mature attitude in which I admire. But I saw those people in that kind of performances, and I'm pretty sure that those are activists, but still it's really sickening, and it makes me so sad because, you know, our nation fought against yours decades ago, and I'm like, now it's basically saying that now Japanese people have to think like we lost the war against these bunch of miserable people. I don't want to believe that. America was such a huge, strong nation, and no other nation but Japan has fought against America like the way we did, and that's part of our pride, right? So yeah, it's really sad. So this is an apology for the slavery, right? But the US now is led by the black president. I mean, I don't know when these pictures were taken, but still, like, my point is, when is enough, right? Because this won't have a closure. Like, this will go on and on and on forever, and this will keep eating you guys up forever. I know, because same thing has been happening to Japan, because South Korea wants us to apologize forever. You know, the president there has to say, but it's a little bit different as for South Korea, because it has a lot to do with how the nation was built. If any of you are interested in the connection between Japan and South Korea, or our history together, I'll link some cool book below, like it's in English. So anyways, so when I see these pictures, I can't really describe my feelings. You know, like, I'm from Japan, I'm 100% Japanese, and I'm supposed to have these mixed feelings against American and stuff. But actually, I'm not the only upset Japanese person here, because since I was really shocked, I couldn't keep the emotions to myself, and so I decided to share with my people in Japan. And so I posted these pictures on my personal Facebook account, and people gave me a bunch of reactions, you know, and I realized that they are feeling the same. So I'm gonna introduce some of them, actually 12 of them, because there are many comments and they were all good. So I'm gonna read the translation now, but these are the real voice of Japanese people, just so you know. Okay, so the first one, it's self-satisfaction, and this will not make anybody happy, which I agree. The second one, it reminds me of somebody at the protest on August 6th, which is when you know, the atomic bomb, the first one, was dropped. And so all of a sudden he laid down and meditated to apologize, and it was weird. I bet it was. And another person writes, there are similar things in Japan as well as the white guilt. Another person writes, we are not like South Korean activists who want our previous enemies to apologize eternally, and we are not interested in making the modern people pay for the decisions of the people in the past. Another person writes, shocking. Somebody else writes, I do agree that some of the atrocity was bad, but this type of actions are not going to be appealing to the Japanese. It's not. Okay, next one. This is a program that was used in the UK and Japan, and so the Japanese people might notice that this is happening to us too. Like, it's more easy to see when, you know, it's happening in other countries. And the program that this person is talking about is called War Guilt Information Program. Like, it's a weakening process of a nation, and I'm gonna talk about that later. Okay, and somebody else writes, this is like what you see in South Korea. Everybody is obsessed with South Korea. Okay, the next one. I feel bad that America has to live with this type of guilt. Yeah, seriously. 3 more to go. So this person writes, it's the same as sending the Japanese students on their school trip to South Korea and make them apologize. Like, I mean, it's different. Like, South Korea and slavery can be compared, but, you know, as for apologies, this is the common thing here. And another person writes, this I believe is for the slavery history, but as for atomic bombs, we know that both Japan and the US fought with all of our power, so just because they are the offsprings of our enemies, I hope that they won't do stuff like this for us. Okay, the last one, this is hypocrisy, because this type of left-wing performances are the same everywhere in the world, which I completely agree. So yeah, these are the real voice of the Japanese, and I want you guys to know that, because I hear that President Obama, who is a master of white guilt, is coming to Hiroshima soon, like at the end of May, which is this month. So I'm just wondering what he will do there, if he will apologize or what he's gonna say, or if maybe he won't because he wants to tear us apart in any way possible. Like, we don't know, but I just hate the idea if he apologized, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the apologies would be nice, but like, by him from day one, he's been weakening America, and also he's very interested in doing things as the first president, right? Like, one of the shocking things that he's done is to open the battle positions for all females, and he kind of forcefully did that, like he pressured all the people, and that now female people are in the position and stuff. Of course, it's cool if those females are, you know, good at their job, but still, like, you should play things fair. I just don't like the idea of being used for his legacy. I mean, if it's good for us too, that's good, but as you guys know, like, as I said many times before, like, the connection between Japan and the US is really strong, and we get influenced, like, we have consequences very easily. So I really need to know what his intentions are and what he's going to do and things like that, and I don't have any information about that. I just hear people talking like, oh, he should apologize, he shouldn't, blah blah blah, but we need to know his intentions, right, and what he's going to do, so that I can do things beforehand, or maybe I can go to Hiroshima and protest, whatever like that. So if you guys have any kinds of information, please let me know so I can make the right move. So let's get back to the white guilt pictures. The guilt that are presented here is on the slavery, but I imagine that healthy-minded black people in the US will be proud that they have gained their social status and human rights little by little, and now the president is black. And as for white people, it might be a complicated process, like, I don't know, because I need to study more, but let's just focus on the fact that people have moved on, right? So that's something to be proud of, you know, like, people adjusted, people changed, and that's a wonderful thing. And also in the past, things were just different, you know, the information, like how people felt in general and everything like that, it's all different. Like, cultural values back then are different from now. So, like, you can't talk about the past with the modern values, right? And I'm not saying that I want to justify everything in the past, of course, but my question is, why focus on the slavery part only? Like, why don't you look at the process of white people and black people coming together? You know, like, why do you live in the past, like a certain point of the past? It's not like white people don't feel the pain today either. My guess is that these performers are not normal people. Like, I mean, regular citizens might be influenced, but those who take actions like this, I bet, are political activists with a political intention in mind. So yeah, I'm really hoping that things will stop there, you know. Now the world order is getting messed up because of that, like, because of the white guilt that Obama is using. And also I see that white people are getting deprived of their human rights. Like, they definitely is losing the freedom of speech, right? Like, I see Trump supporters getting hurt or getting killed, and it's like, you can't even show your support for the coming presidential campaign. Like, how ridiculous is that in a democratic nation? And also, I can't believe that it's happening, like, inside of US. Like, when I see all those crazy riots caused by anti-Trump protesters, because I even had to look up for the locations of the California one. Like I had to make sure that it was, you know, the bleeding guy with the Trump shirt. I had to make sure that it happened inside of America, because I was like, oh, this can't be in America. Maybe this happened in Mexico or something. And but like I looked up and it's like, oh my gosh, that's in America. And I don't know, it's just so surprising to me. Maybe I just didn't know about America well enough, but it's just awful. So the way I see the US now is that the people in the US have ended the black slavery a long time ago, you know, and now you guys have the black president, and by that now you guys are starting the slavery of the white people. You know, to an outsider like myself, it's like I'm seeing black supremacy starting, right? Because that's what the political correctness in the US is now about. Like it's encouraging the idea. So like I'm like, people need to face it already. And soon it's gonna be about Muslims, right? Because President Obama has clearly stated, like I think it was February or so when he visited the mosque, he was saying stuff like he wants to bring exposure to Muslim people, like in the US, just like black people did, right? Like he wants Muslims to be on TV and things like that, like the friendly figure and stuff. And I'm like, what's gonna happen to Christian people? You know, like, are you gonna put some conflicts and arguments on TV too? Like, I don't know. And and soon your president will be a Muslim person. Like, that's no longer America, I feel. Am I wrong? I don't know. Another thing I'm thinking is that why do you not talk about the human rights of white people at the same time when you talk about the human rights of all the rest of the people? You know, like, white people are not evil today. I mean, certain type of people can be, but not the race itself. So like, if you didn't talk about the white people's rights as well, you would end up prioritizing one race or one religion over another, which is white or Christian, and that's just wrong. And another thing to mention is that anti-discrimination people talk about things by race still, you know? Like, they are basically not against discrimination, they are just against white people, which is discriminative. I'm like, why can't you just discard the belief of race already? So, as you guys can probably tell by now, I have strong opinions on stuff like this because Japan is suffering from the same things. Oh, Japan only consists of Japanese people, you might think, but no, we accepted 600,000 Koreans after the war who were willing to live in Japan. And they gained the right of permanent residency. So because of that, we have a problem with race, hate speech, and things like that. And communists and liberals here are using that aspect in addition to the idea of what GHQ was using during the occupation periods called War Guilt Information Program, which is to imprint the guilt in the Japanese people in any way possible, like through education, media system, censorship, etc. So basically the same as what's happening with the white guilt. So long story short, they're destroying Japan that way. So now Japanese people can't say the things that we want to say because liberals and communists talk about hate speech all the time. I think some law passed recently in some, or maybe it's just a, you know, a local stuff, but like according to those certain type of people, I am categorized as a racist. Did you know that? Like they say that what I do is hate speech and that I'm a hateful person. And what do? I insist the human rights of the Japanese people living in Japan, and I'm a racist for that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, they are discriminating me for being Japanese. That's so ridiculous, and I'm so angry, and that's why I started to make videos. But that's part of the reasons why I can totally relate to white people or Trump supporters who want to secure the border. So speaking of border, I have to talk about some business stuff. One good example is food industry. So one thing I noticed about the US is people with low income or no income are fat. Like, they're huge, right? Like, some don't look like humans anymore because they're not natural. Just so you know, in Japan, among the girls here, I'm a big one. Like, I'm a buff person. And to prove that, in fact, when I'm shopping, I have struggles. Like I can't find pants that fit me, right? Sometimes I'm like, oh, a pair of jeans would be nice and stuff, and I try them on. I can't pull them up because they're so thin. That's like, yeah. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so big. And also when I look for shoes, I can't find them either because like I have wide feet, you know, so those shoes like meant for Japanese girls don't fit me. So so I'm a big girl here. Like I have to find something that fit me, and I don't have any choice. Like whatever fits me, I have to buy it, you know what I mean? So anyway, so yeah, I'm sort of big here. So seeing from a Japanese like myself, American people can be really huge. But back to what I was saying, so low income people are supposed to be poor, right? Like they're supposed to be thin because of the lack of nutrition and so forth. But they can be big nowadays because they're eating unhealthy instant foods that are cheap, and those foods contain lots of chemicals in it. So many unusual, unhealthy reactions are happening inside of their bodies. So of course they're not gonna look normal. And actually we are having the issue as well. Like we were like the healthiest country in the world, right? But after the war, our diet was forced to be changed for trades and political reasons, like deals. But yeah, now a lot of us have cancer. Like the number like skyrocketed, and we have many incurable diseases, which I myself actually have. And the number is just increasing like so crazy. And now the low-income people here can be kind of, you know, chubby or fat as well. And I just see all these wrongful things, you know. So why does that happen? Because the food industry is exploiting from poor people, right? And they put chemicals, like they mess up their bodies and also get them addicted. And they also make people dumb so they can keep selling. So what kind of corporations can they be? The majority, I believe, are the worldwide ones, so-called globalists, because the kind of evil-minded business people would want to expand their business, right? And who would that be when you look at the history? As a Japanese, I think of Franklin Roosevelt, for example. And who talked to Roosevelt about political things? Communists from Russia and China. According to Vietnam papers released from NSA in 1995. So it's true. And so things are the same today. We have the same picture as before. With that in mind, look at the presidential campaign. One candidate has been attacked by globalists, communists, and big business people, and his name is Donald J. Trump. He wants to stop the globalist business idea that's in the vicious circle because, yeah, like he'll create jobs inside of America. He'll bring back all the jobs, and also he wants to secure the border for security reasons, and also he wants to make America great again. Why? Because as I showed you guys at the beginning of this video, white guilt is doing a lot of harm and it's only making things worse. So yeah. And I also have a question. So what are those anti-Trump people really against? Because like, who do they think their real enemy is? Who do they think they're working for? Like, they want to keep eating cheap chemical-based foods that mess up themselves physically and mentally, or they want to bring down the power of their country by white guilt, or maybe instead somehow they want to exploit from the white people and make them slaves as their masturbation, as a revenge. Or maybe they want to build a completely new nation, because I see that some of them are burning the national flag of America, which saddens me. And what kind of nation would they build though? A communist nation where everyone is equal? Oh, finally! Everyone is equal! Wow! What a surprise! Yeah, no matter how much you work, it won't pay off, by the way, in that kind of nation. Or a black supremacy nation, some Muslim nation. What do they want? Because if any of you know, I just frankly want to know. I mean, it's easy to say negative things to someone, you know. It's easy to deny the idea of who you don't get along with, but when you do that, you have to have an alternative goal, right, or policy. But from anti-Trump people, I don't get any image or policy or vision of where they're going. They want equality. Okay, I'm imagining communism nation. I don't know, like I just don't see anything. I'm happy though that Mr. Trump decided to run this time and that he's got a big crowd of supporters still. And I am also grateful that there are Japanese people like myself who are supporting Mr. Trump. I hope that we can make a difference, you know, over here. We will stand by you, and I don't know how much we can do, but just want you guys to be safe and also go for what you guys believe in, because yeah, you guys are our great friend. Anyways, like always, thank you so much for watching. I know my videos are long, but I really appreciate it. Like, you have no idea how much this means to me that you guys are there to listen to me, and vice versa. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!